I can't wait till we're out of shadow. Not me talking for 3.5 minutes because my tool thing that I use for YouTube is over the go live, which I had already pressed once. So I thought I was done, but it was hiding. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. How are we all doing after the last couple of weeks? Woo! Right? This week is interesting. Sorry I missed last week. Listen, I'm a Cancer, the full moons, all the stuff, no one was unaffected. No one was left unaffected. There were good things that happened. I got lots of emails. I got one really great email from someone who is in gratitude. There's gratitude, nerd, astro, and evolutionary levels of membership in this membership. And somebody that I did a mini, like, how is this Aquarius moon hitting your chart specifically? Because if you're in the higher levels of membership, when there's like a new moon or a full moon or a big transit, I will do personal little mini reads for that event. And I saw some monetary prizes coming in, and it worked out for them. So that was great. And so, but I remember in the live them saying like, I don't know how that could happen. And I'm always saying, don't worry about how the universe is going to get your money to you. That's none of your business. Just be in the receiving mode for it. And so it was wonderful to get that email. And it was funny because I posted a TikTok saying that, like, every time I get an email from a client saying, oh my God, you were so accurate, with the jumping up and down, Jennifer Aniston and Lisa Kudrow as Phoebe and Rachel jumping up and down with Ross. And when he's going to get the apartment, and literally within an hour that email came in. So can we get good things out of janky astrology? Yeah. But I wanted to be here today to tell you that this week is interesting. It starts off maybe pulled back, and listen, astrology is reflective. It is reflective, which means that after the last couple of weeks, I am sure people are like, I'm going to put that on ice. I'm going to put that on hold, right? Because it has been intense. And even the people that we're used to dealing with, we're feeling like, I don't even know what's going on there. And so some people might be in hiding. Some people might just be quiet and you can tell something's off. Some people may still be raging. Some people may still feel like caught up in their own head and their own thoughts. And some people may just be like, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? But everybody, certainly we see what's going on in the collective. We have the new community guidelines on TikTok, which we're not allowed to criticize. We're not allowed to show anything that looks harmful or violent, which means there'll be no more posting of the starving children with their limbs blown off, asking for help because it's the only way that they're eating is us helping them, so that we can't see it, so that we're more easily lied to. I mean, when you cannot, in a free press, criticize any of your government or leaders, that's the problem. That is called, I don't want this to get suppressed. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And of course, I hope you are listening to Lori Rivers. We all felt the Aquarius moon last weekend. So she gave you a quickie last Sunday, but I am sure we're going to have a full podcast rolling out tomorrow early in the morning. And by all means, listen to that. I am here to get you through the week, just the week. Let's just concentrate on that. And what the energy is going to do, what the energy is going to do. The planets are going to do what the planets are going to do. So what I can do is help you to know before you go, right? So it was really helpful to me to know to not try to combat anything that came my way that the weekend of the Aquarius moon or the week before, because I knew the astrology was not conducive to having the talk or hammering things out. And I have said that week after week on a Sunday. This is not the week to have the conversation. I know I've been asking you guys for weeks, like, if you can, have the patience. Obviously, when we deal with a crisis, we're dealing with a crisis, right? But like, if you cannot, if you can hold back, if you can have a little patience, if you can, oh, there's my coffee, sorry. If you can, if you can self-reflect instead of outwardly act, more reflective instead of reactive, that's going to be helpful. We end this week with the Virgo new moon. Ooh, new moon in Virgo. It's conjunct Uranus. I actually quite like the Pisces full moon in the beginning of September a little bit more than I like this. I personally will not be making moon water. If you are in membership, there is a whole 2 months ahead what to do in all the new moons and the full moons, including the upcoming eclipse. What my suggestions, you do whatever you like it. You like it, I love it for you. My suggestions as a seasoned metaphysical practitioner and astrologer, what I would do. Because I do have both, right? So I understand exactly the energy of the planets. And then I also understand the metaphysical value of making moon water or charging crystals. And so blending those together, again, whatever level of membership you're in, there is up until the end of September, what my suggestions on moon water, charging crystals, and also what I would do with the energy to work it for myself. And that's what we're going to do right now. Is I'm going to go over the week. I'm going to go over some of the suggestions that I may have for navigating it, what you can expect, because we all feel moons. We all feel the astrology. Some will feel it more, right? If you are grounding, making sure your nervous system is regulated, and doing your spiritual hygiene. Lori will tell you too, eat lots of protein right now. These are really, really important. Again, there is a video in membership where I go over like the trifecta of how to stay grounded and regulated and protected in this energy. It works for any time. I usually do it like once in a blue moon. I'm doing them double, 2 times a day right now. But that video is up in a membership. That's going to be important coming in. I wish I could say, I wish I could tell the planets, hey, give us a break, but I can't. I have no power there. What I do have power to do is give you a little instruction manual for the week. And then what I will do is pull tarot for each 12 signs, but we predict in the context. We predict in the context. So if I'm looking at your chart, there's different things that could express 40 different ways, to be honest. But I'm going to predict in the context of where you live. Do you have a job that you might let go? Are you a lifer in that job because it's a government job? Or, everything we predict in the context because there's nuance. So I'm going to read cards in the context of what the planets are already doing. And your guides will get you to the messages you're supposed to get to. So if you're wandering onto the video and you're like, oh, that's crazy lady, it's me. And your guides may want you to hear something I have to say. Once in a while through a video, I may drop a little nugget. Hey, Juan and Zoe and Little John and Adva and Alicia. I hope you are all well. Hi, Farfully. Okay. And I know who you are, Farfully. I just assume if somebody is using a moniker as their YouTube name, they're they don't necessarily want to have their gov spoken out in public. Anyhow. All right, so let's start looking at, I'm going to kick my shoes off like Mr. Rogers. I had my coffee. I did my walk this morning, and then I took I took an everything shower, toned my hair because it was yellow yesterday. I put on my ascendant. I'll give you a hint. Suzzy Evolutionary. That is not my government name. So yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Because I value it myself, I also respect it. So, and I love a Scorpio rising. I love Scorpio placements. I love Gemini placements. I love Aquarius placements. Newsflash, I like all the placements, but the reason that I will speak those out more is because they get the most ridiculous fucking slander. I'm so over it. Like, great, good for you and your views. You're armchair astrologer, and you have a little bit of information. You had one bad experience with somebody, and you can, you can read a sign to fill based on stereotypes and not archetypes of astrology. Two different things. Stereotype is bullshit. Archetypes are based on research and the same outcome again and again and again, and the nuances in them to create the archetypes. Those are two different things. Don't fall for stereotype astrology. A bullshit, like the little kid in the car seat, a bullshit. Well, that espresso has kicked in clearly, kids. Let's get cracking, shall we? Let me pull up the chart. I'm going to share. Da-dun, da-dun. I'm going to share the chart as soon as the computer wants to agree with me. So again, I put it in the I put it in the caption. Sorry, I'm taking a break from my words. This is my favorite mug. Okay, it is the Kraken. It's my very favorite mug. If anybody dares to put, you got one little chip in it, lost my whole mind. This was given to me by somebody very, 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 very special, whom I love to no end. And the reason I'm going to cry. What the hell is wrong with me? The reason I extra love this, because my favorite kind of connection with somebody is when they just get you. I think because I try to go out of my way to like just get somebody, or like that Leo Venus then wants to like get them something that like, I knew you would love this. Like, oh my God, that's so me. And so without any, yay, April, without any conversation, without this was a Christmas gift, and it's just soulmates are more than romantic, and this came from one of my absolute soulmates in life. And so I don't use it as much because it's, it's like real ceramic, and I get nervous about it being in the sink or getting dinged. But I love this one. I kind of want a tattoo of the mug. Okay. So let me go back to doing my fucking job. Shut up in astrology. Just kidding. I would never do that. All right, kids, here is the astrology for the week. This starts us off with, this is today. Right? Let's move it. So earlier this morning, in the middle of the night last night, or towards the the very end of the night, yesterday, this would have been in a trine with Mars and conjunct Uranus, and also talking to Pluto, and also talking to Mercury in retrograde, which is also talking to Mars. Mercury in Leo, which is finally leaving shadow today. It's literally been one of the most problematic Mercury retrogrades, and I don't know how long, seriously. Let me pop out the chat so I can do both. There we go. So as we move through the day, let's look at, hey, Shingama Fall. Shigami Fall. It's no fun to say it the right way. So as we move in throughout the day, the moon is in Gemini today. We may prefer to think our feelings instead of feel our feelings today, and that's okay. And also, after the carnage of the last 3 weeks, if anyone's experienced life like that, or like had a lot of like, that was not on my bingo board moments in the last couple of weeks, we were all talking about that on the roundtable, the astrologers roundtable on Friday nights. We play D&D, and you can watch. I wanted to wink again. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I almost cried over a mug, and I keep winking. That moon is heading for my Mercury. And it's currently in a sextile with my own moon. So, the moon will do things like it'll talk to the nodes. It's talking to the nodes right now. You're really not going to feel that. The nodes are a collective thing. Again, in membership, we did a house series. We just finished Pluto on the Pluto series. And then I went through the members' charts, personal reads in Pluto. If anybody wants to talk about that in the comments, that was wild yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Talking about to see in and under someone with their Pluto placement. Very interesting. Even though it is collective and it is a outer planet in the chart with all the layers, you can really see quite a bit about somebody in their Pluto. But the next, we're doing a special just for the members on the new moon on Wednesday, and then Saturday I'm either going to let them ask me anything, or I can pull a card, if you're in membership, or we're going to do asteroids because everybody's asking, and then we're going to do the nodes. And finish up the planets and go into the signs. It's just, we do little things in between. It's not class, it's not school, but they're lessons so that you're armed with the proper information and not the bullshit, stereotype stuff that's out there. So we have, this Gemini moon stops really talking to the Pluto and the Mars, and thank goodness. So as it moves, it's going to be in conjunct. It's going to have that whisper conversation, which it's doing right now as we speak, with Jupiter and Venus. I want to say something about Jupiter and Venus in Cancer. And I'm seeing a lot about how that's so lovey-dovey, and it's the two benefics, and it's in Cancer. hey, is that Jeremy? I don't want to call you Germ, but if you want me to call you Germ, I'll call you, hey, Gia. The conjunction of the two benefics in Cancer. We're talking about Venus, which is not love, it's attraction. It's not, it could be how you like to be loved, right? But in Cancer, while Jupiter is exalted, Venus isn't, because Venus isn't really about the protective and the feels. Let's not forget that while we associate Cancer with romance and feelings and love and nurture and, you know, all of that good stuff, it is the nurturing, protective, active water that we associate all that with Cancer, while Venus is its worth, its value. It's how we, all the money, all the abundance, all the love we bring in, we do that depending on how our Venus is calibrated, how we feel about ourselves, what we think we're worth. So when we look at a conjunction like this could have just felt very emotional last Tuesday. Could have felt like I need to go protect what's important to me. And the need to feel big protection, big, like this is what I value. This is what I'm standing 10 toes down on. This is what I'm willing to fight for, because Cancers are fighters. The crab has pincers, okay? It's not just a crybaby. I know that they like to say, Cancer will fight you if you come after something that they love. So that we have the magnification of Jupiter in Cancer. Think about that protective, I will fight you, I will protect what I want, and the Venus, okay, what I value, what I hold dear, what I feel protective of, what I love, what I'm nurturing currently. And while that grand trine was going on between Mars and Pluto and Uranus, all in air signs, which is all up here. So we have feelings and we have thoughts. There wasn't a lot of Earth going on in that chart. And then we had the opposition of Saturn and Neptune with the Mars, and the trine of Mercury still in retrograde to the Saturn and the Neptune. So that could have just felt like big feelings without any grounding. Again, and I've been saying it, just not the week to have the conversation, right? This week is a little better, but if there's something that really feels like it needs to be resolved, unless it's with somebody that you have the kind of intimate relationship where you can say, hey, listen, you know, I was in my feels, maybe you were in your feels, so you matter to me, but let's not try to have the conversation right now. Let's just know that this is something we're going to work on or we're going to move forward in, but just right now is not a great time to hash it out, right? If it went postal, I still would not approach it right now. And I'm about to show you why. So again, we still have this trine going on. Uranus, unexpected, and Pluto in Aquarius, which is run by Uranus. Listen, this is what you won't move will get moved for you. I could sit here and I could talk about all the archetypes of Uranus and Pluto and Aquarius and Gemini, but this is what you won't move, what no longer serves you will get moved for you. And that is what's happening in the collective. That is not there to punish you on a personal basis. You don't have bad karma. You're not a bad person. It's just time for shit to move. Stagnancy is not what's going to help save the planet, save the people on it. We're a bit of a dumpster fire if nobody's checked. These planets are to move everybody and everything. You should not be taking them personal. No one is being punished. Uranus is your friend. It does not want to see, it is the really feisty friend that is like, will do anything to get you out of that bad relationship. Okay. And Pluto is the evolution. It's here to help you have an arc in life. It's here to help you grow. But while that is going on, right? And it's going to be going on for a while. It depends on the other, what little breaks, what reprises we have to kind of decompress. And the more we go inward and be less reactive, even if somebody gives you something to be reactive about, Lori did a whole video. It's on Patreon, it's on TikTok. I don't know if it's on YouTube. And I say this to my kids all the time. Nobody makes you hit anybody. Nobody makes you scream and yell and say terrible things to anyone. I used to tell that to my kids, right? One did something bad, then the other one pushed them. Well, she did this bad thing. Okay, but now you're both in trouble. Do you see that if you just let her be the one that did the bad thing, you could have come to me. But now you're in worse trouble than her. We got to focus on this. This is worse. Right? So like nobody makes you do anything, but this is not grounded energy. This is not grounded energy. The more we can be reflective and not reactive, because it's not in our favor to be reactive right now. It probably won't reflect well on us to be reactive right now. Now, if you want to take a stand for something, if you want to donate money, if you want to protest with your dollars, if you want to do something there, if you want to tell somebody, I have boundaries, I don't want to have a whole conversation, but no is a whole sentence, great, wonderful. But don't try to hash it out right now. The moon is just going to have a whisper with that very emotional, protective, the Venus and Jupiter. There could be feeling things, but not speaking them out loud, holding them back a little bit right now, especially after the way that the Aquarius moon beat us while, the Schumann resonance yelled world star. Just saying. Now, tomorrow, the moon moves into Cancer midday. Moon's moving into Cancer. In its home, it immediately comes into a square with the Saturn and the Neptune. I know, right? Like, oh, yay, the moon moves into Cancer, and I'm just going to want to like nurture and cook. Yeah, but it's also squaring Saturn and Neptune. It just is. Where do we feel deeply and also make room for accountability, reviewing things, and also where I would not be surprised if we have to react to a bit of truth that we would rather have not heard today or tomorrow or the next day, especially tomorrow. In those, anything moving into the early degrees, anything ingressing into the early degrees of the sign is going to be immediately activated by everything else that's going on. We have Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, all in early degrees. Also, this whole week almost, Mercury and Mars are kind of moving together in this sextile, which means they get along. They're going to do stuff together. They vibe. They're different, but they get each other and they're going to work together in that close degree. Could be a little spicy. The Venus has moved away from Jupiter enough now where we're really not in a conjunction. They're kind of acting on their own. And as the moon gets to certain degrees, it'll talk to either the moon, either the Venus or the Jupiter. But those are not going to be as impactful as other things. Now, like I said about the Jupiter and Venus together in Cancer, this is going to feel like that's what I value. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the results are. I don't like it, could just be very like, I could care less. I could care less what your reasons are. Don't talk to my kid that way. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't come after this. Don't come, right? It could just feel very protective and magnified. There are also money signs. Cancer is just as much of a money sign as Capricorn. So look out for your money opportunities and try to ground as much as possible, because you're going to have to do it ad nauseum. I'm going to say it again. The energy is not helping you. You have to go out of your way to ground every day. You have to go out of your way to make sure you are regulated. And also ad nauseum, that video is in membership. It's a whole video to how to ground, protect your energy, and regulate your nervous system, because I am trauma informed. That is something that I am trained and certified to do. So this day is the day where we're going to be in our feels. This is Tuesday, right? And into Wednesday, it's the ham and the sandwich here between the Venus and the Jupiter. So we could feel very protective of things, very much in our feels. And also, Cancer is private. So you still may not be talking. And if you do, I would be very aware with, again, see, they're moving together, 8 degrees and 8 degrees. I would be very careful with Mercury and Leo, unless you're going out of your way to make somebody else feel seen and stick up for them, because that's a lot of this too. You could feel very protective, make somebody else feel seen, make somebody else feel like there's justice in this world. That's beautiful. That's how to use this energy. Because this fuckery is still happening, that fuckery is still happening. As we move into Wednesday, the moon will be conjunct Venus again. This is a good day to make money plans, business plans. I still would not be going out of your way to have the conversation. Take your energy and your focus where attention goes, energy flows. Take your energy and focus off the relationships in your life right now, which seems crazy as I'm saying that. And there's a moon, Venus, and Jupiter all in Cancer. But seriously, if you put it outward into the world, put it outward into your plans. Mercury is direct again. Use that. And get high off your own supply. You may not be getting acknowledgement right now from people. You may not be getting sorries right now from people. You may not be getting the reassurance that you need from some people, even if there's been like a makeup after a fight, because they're not capable, not because you're not worthy, because they're not capable, not because you're not worthy. It has zero to do with your worth. The energy is cranky. And some people just aren't there yet. Don't focus on that. Take all the energy, put it towards yourself, put it towards your business, put it towards anything that helps and moves you forward. Because if you're not moving forward, that Pluto and Uranus is going to move the stuff out of your way so you can. It'll push you forward. When Pluto is handled as well as possible, it's amazing. When Pluto is not handled, it looks like forced evolution, which does not feel amazing, even if it's what was necessary. So don't do that. And try not to be in the story of the last couple of weeks. If you sit and replay over everything that happened in the last couple of weeks, you're not getting ready for what you need. We move into Thursday with the moon moving into Leo and conjunct Mercury. And it's in a sextile with Mars. and it's kind of talking to the Mars is squaring Jupiter at this point in cardinal. Get high off your own supply. Get high, give yourself, do self-affirming things, talk to yourself in a great way, do something creative, do something playful, watch one of your favorite movies as a kid, go to work. If somebody says something crazy to you, go, oh, that's an interesting thing to say. Let me think about that. Don't react, don't react, don't react. Jupiter is squaring Mars. Friday, we still have Moon conjunct Mercury. We still have that whisper conversation between Jupiter and Mercury and the Moon, and we still have a little bit of a square. The square is less on Friday. Still in our feels, still better to be reflective than reactive. And then we have on Saturday the new moon. Okay, I will be doing a special on this on membership. Please leave me a comment if you're not part of membership and you want me to do like just go through the houses in Virgo moon. If you're in membership, we'll have something more detailed and I may look at member charts. But if you want me to if anybody's interested in me doing a public Virgo moon going through the houses and rising signs, I can. But yeah, we have this new moon at 0 degrees, which is really, it has all the potential that Virgo has to offer, right? This is what we would call an anaretic degree, blah, blah, blah. I don't do degree theory as far as like all the ones in between. But we do pay attention to 0. We do pay attention to 29, right? And it's powerful. It has its most potential. It can pack its most punch, and it is squaring Uranus. Surprise. Anybody else watch Dexter? Surprise, motherfucker. That's what that might feel like. Hopefully not for anyone in a Dexter way, but that's that. Right? And it's kind of forming a yod between Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto in retrograde. These are all in retrograde. And we still have Jupiter kind of squaring Mars. Listen to Lori for this. I'm sure she's doing a new. I don't think that's going to be too pleasant. We also have a sextile between Mercury and Mars. It's just, there's not a lot of cushion to fall back on here. We have Venus at 27 degrees. The only thing it's talking to is Chiron, which really is not here or there. It's not going to show up, and it's not going to be louder. If it shows up, it's going to show up so nuanced, and it's not going to be louder than the rest of it. A lot of squares, a lot of I'll fight you energy. So don't take all that energy and put it into yourself. And I will go over like some of the ways to use the new moon in Virgo. Again, I like that Pisces new moon a lot better that we have coming up in the beginning of September. Okay. Let me get the chat going again. Boop. There we are. All right, so now we're going to go through, very true, people say and do things all the time. Yeah. Our lovely Doretha, who's in this community, made this great TikTok that I stitched and shared because she said, may you have a response, you know, I hope you have a great day, and may you have a response instead of a reaction. Ain't that the truth? Okay. So based on what we just saw in the astrology, hey, how are you? Long time no see. Based on the astrology we just saw, and I'm going to try to be diligent to say that if you're only tuning in to the tarot reads, please, 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 please watch the astrology part. It's so important. It helps you prepare for the week. Oh, thank you, Juan, for sharing my website. Also, from it's up, but if you go to the where to find me, I have some of the newer videos up there, and also I now have the tentative schedule for both all of us and when I'm public, and also for membership, so including the subjects that are coming up. And if you are in membership, there is a poll in the membership tab right now. So you guys can choose what you want for Saturday. I like giving choices. This is your membership. And something's being weird on my screen. Oh, it's my mug. So if somebody wants to timestamp me, but I'm going to pull cards based on the astrology. I'm going to pull cards on what is the subject that you can let sit for a little while longer, and what is the subject that you should take this energy and use it towards. Because especially in that Virgo new moon, it's about the exactedness, right? If Gemini is all the information in Mercury, right? We want both sides of every story, right? We want all of it. Thank you, Juan. Then Virgo takes that Mercury and tries to handpick the best of it, the part that serves everybody the most. So you can go in like a surgeon and take the energy out and use it for what you want it. It's kind of like transmutations. There's videos about that too somewhere on my channel. I may be looking for someone to help me just kind of like organize my channel, find bits that would make good shorts. But only if like that's something you like to do, or you would find it relaxing, or because I find that anything that we do that feels like, oh, we have to, or we're just doing this to get to that, doesn't get done very well, and then that serves nobody. Okay, so I'm going to read this first one is for Aries. Please watch. You got Saturn and Neptune in your sign. You got all the Cancer stuff squaring you right now, and Mercury and Leo in a trine with your placements. This is also good if you have first house energy. All right, what is the thing that you can just leave a little longer? Leave that subject matter a little longer, and I'll take two. Perfect. Okay. Aries, there could be tension around money, or distribution of who helped who more, or who owes who, or who should be more indebted to somebody else. There's also principle here. Aries, you may like miss somebody or miss being in a group that included this person. And Aries sometimes can have disposability, abandonment issues. And so you may be sitting in a place where it's like, I don't want to feel disposed of by this person or by this group, or feel like you're having a little FOMO around things. Hi, Maricela. But this is what your guides are saying. Just sit on this situation a little longer. You're not wrong. There was whatever, either conversation or actuality. When you see me looking off, that is information coming in. So there is either like a irregularity. There's a word, like there's not an even dispensing of the give and take. But there is still, like, there are other things around this person or around this relationship, around this dichotomy. Could be work, could be anywhere in your life, that you miss, that you're feeling like the emotional void, and also just don't want to feel disposed of, or like easily like, oh, they're not even texting, they don't even miss me, that kind of thing. Again, this could also apply if you have first house planets. And I'm telling you, this is something to sit on, because this is also not the week, maybe in that Pisces full moon. What is the best thing you put your energy towards right now? Aries placements. You know I could do the astrology a lot quicker. It's just a week. But I keep stopping on the points where I feel like, let me take the astrology and put it into layman's terms. Let me explain how this energy just feels in real life, or what the archetype is telling us. Trauma-informed bits or whatever. But, I don't do this to hear myself talk. I already know all that stuff. So if you guys are like, could you make the astrology 20 minutes instead of 40? Tell me. I will. It's for you. You can leave that as a comment when it's over. You can also put me on double speed. I watch me on double speed. I'm not going to lie. I have flaws. Try not to make denial one of them. Sometimes I do, but I try not to. What is the good stuff that Aries can? Okay. Ooh, what is the thing that Aries can put their Aries first house placements? Okay. Ooh, okay. There was a situation where you thought you might have to bounce or go. Hold off on that, because the work you have done with Saturn in your sign, the accountability work, Aries will get mad, but they'll apologize just as fast. And they love the authenticity. So while they get a bad stereotype rap for me, that's not true. And they will want to be authentic, so they will apologize. It's not a long grudge holding Mars expression. You might have gotten a little quiet in this time, but what you have learned about yourself, what you have had epiphanies, what you have healed is huge. And like, please watch Saturn and Aries. There's a video on my channel about everything you need to know about Saturn and Aries as it moved into, because it'll be there for 2.5 years, right? Saturn and Aries gives us the longevity and the long game plan to getting stuff done. And it helps the Aries energy not abandon something once they're bored with it. That's what's happening for you. And it's really good. There's a project or something, because you're not giving all of your attention, because also Aries is the advocate. So you will put your time into advocating. You will want to help people, help your friend, whatever, protectiveness, all of that. But because you're not in whatever, like you're not being as social around whatever, this could be work, romance, whatever. But it's allowing you to take all the wisdom and apply it back to something that you thought about walking away from. And it really becomes successful for you, Aries. Okay, Taurus. Taurus, please watch the um please watch the astrology part. You can put it on double speed, but that really helps you understand the card reading. Also, I know it looks like, well, I don't have anything. Uranus moved out. There's nothing in Taurus. Anything that's in fixed signs, which you have Aquarius in a fixed sign, and you have Mercury in a fixed sign, anything in Earth, um, which, you know, this new moon is going to be in Earth. All extra applies to your chart, and the energy applies to everybody. So it's still important to watch that part. Okay. Woo! Also, if you're in membership, please make sure I'm not going to your spam, because they keep trying to like send you guys little stuff. And I know you're not all getting it. And I hear it all the time that it goes to spam. Okay. Taurus, the thing that you can, there's something you want to leap and do. Give it a minute. This feels relationshipy, Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, rising, Venus, whatever. And if you have strong second house places like sun, moon. It feels like there's somebody you have feelings for and you want to help because they look like they might be in distress. But to be honest, you should wait. It almost feels like you feel bad for them, or you think that they're frozen or out of communication or something because they need you. They're either keeping to themselves or they're actually okay and they're just being quiet to be quiet. I feel like if you jump now, if you send the text now, if you make the move now, if you send the gift now, you might feel foolish later. This person may have a way with their words to make you feel like you're pivotal to their life. And I feel like that's their trauma response. They're not trying to be manipulative. They're not trying to keep you invested when they're not invested. I do feel a tiny bit of that. I don't think that there's not room for it to grow, whatever this is. There could be for some of you, but it's their trauma response to, like, I don't know if they had like a narcissistic parent or something. So like the laying it on thick kind of kept them safe. And so now it's just their pattern of speech, of communication. You're such a good person, Taurus, to want to like jump in and help this person, to want to like do something for them, especially if it's send them money. Don't do that. But it looks like they're distressed. They may be somebody who like concentrates more on like what's wrong, what's going on, because it's easier for them also to like say why they didn't step up to something. Let's see what you can focus on. You're not doing anything wrong. Just wait till they either ask for help or it's like, yeah, because you're Taurus, you want to give them a hug and a cupcake and make them feel better. Okay. Oh, what you should know, Taurus, is there's another situation where it's you won. You can relax. It's over. Like if there was if there was conflict, and there very may well have been, if you're on high alert, if you are on dysregulation, don't be, because this is done. And you came out of this situation with all the tools to like help you grow, which is huge for Taurus. I always say, like, you know, I was watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the original, last week while I was doing graphics work and back work. Because I've seen it so many times, I don't really need to be watching. But I was thinking of tree beard. Like that's such a Taurus thing. Like we take a really long time to say something that's worth saying. And, you know, they take convincing to uproot and go fight Sauron in the second movie. And but Taurus, they'll fight if they have to, right? They'll hold their ground. But it's really important for you to know too. Now, the other thing that's really important to Taurus is that stability. That's why they will fight their ground. Remember that Taurus, my lovely Taurus friends, that stability and longevity are not the same thing. Just because something lasts long doesn't mean it's stable, and you don't need something to last long for you to be stable. The stability is within. The tools you built within from whatever this conflict was, and it feels like it might have been going on for a while. Like the conflict is over, but like you don't have to be on ready, but please know that you have all these new tools. And the next time, this is important, Taurus, the next time a situation comes up similar to this last one, you won't even get in it like that because you built so many tools that it'll avoid like the deeper part of the conflict, or like the how did we get here part, because you won't let it get there because you like woof, you grew a lot in that whole situation. All right, what are we doing here, kids, with cards? There we go. Geminis. Gemini's third house placements, sun, moon, rising. If you're just supposed to hear this, please watch the astrology, Geminis. Everything is in air right now. The moon is in your sign today. I talk a lot about Gemini. Don't let anyone slander you, Geminis. You're wonderful and playful and funny and creative, and the world needs duality. Okay. Gemini, what situation should you sit on a little longer? Ooh, okay. It's hmm, I'm reading this a little different, and I just want to confirm that I'm reading it right. Call back all my power to me now from anyone using it with or without my permission. Um, am I reading this Gemini reading for what to hold off on, but not hold off on here? Am I reading this correctly? All right. Is it to put that in their own hands? Be proactive. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. This may be job. It's like you've been waiting for something to come in, or there's something that just kind of got stable, or I feel like this situation has been exhausting you a little bit. May either monetarily have you stressed out, or energetically have you stressed out, or like socially have you stressed out, which is definitely a Gemini thing. But like to the point where you don't have the energy to deal with it. going to be honest. Please watch the astrology part in the beginning. I talk about the bottom line of that Pluto-Uranus trine is that if you don't move something, universe will move it for you. It, it feels like I've got a little bit more time to deal with this. I don't know that you do. Be proactive. I know you might be tired, but the more you're proactive, the more this really pays off for you. And there's money here to be had. There's just like a change of like overall feeling good about possibly what you're doing for a living, but also just your circumstances. Like they're not going to get better on their own. No one, the people and the situations that are like the problem here that's stressing you out are not going to fix themselves. But yeah, if you feel intuitively, this may not apply to anybody, but Gemini, if you feel intuitively like something like you're on a train that's going to crash, I would trust that. I'm not saying like crash, but just like if it's job stuff, if I'm saying this to you and it resonates, like apply everywhere or like leave and see if you can like move stuff around so that you can take a week, but be ready. Be ready, but also if this is like a relationship situation or applying for a grant, I just heard something, just be really proactive. Like if you're waiting for somebody to announce like, oh, this is when we're doing this, like be proactive. I feel like you're either not getting somebody that promised to let you know when something was going to happen. They're not on their game right now either. Let's see what you can really like focus, put all your energy in to have like something really good come out of the week. Ooh, okay. Gemini, there's a situation that you kind of feel might be in shambles or falling apart, but I'm going to tell you a couple of sweet words from you, and this is fixie fixed. You're either going to get a couple of sweet words from somebody or you're going to give a couple of sweet words. People are overthinking and everybody's assuming the wrong thing here. But this, whatever the situation is, this is either it's somewhere that you care about somebody. It may not be romantic, but it's somewhere, but you really care what happens. It's not doomed. It's not gonna crash. It probably looked like it was gonna crash the last 2 weeks, or maybe like something has changed and not in the way that you would hope, but it's not gonna crash. It's still good. It's still good. Cancer, you've got Jupiter and Venus in your sign right now. Let's use that in the most grounded way possible because your stuff and the moon is about to square Mars. So let's see what we should sit on a little longer and not react to. Or deal with right now. And what, ooh, that was a good card. Let's hope it comes back out. That often happens. And what we should be putting all of our energy into this week to get the very best out of it. What situation? Okay. All right. You got 3 cards. Cancer, if you've been in your crab shell for a little bit, if you've been in your crab shell and just kind of avoiding dealing with people, or not, or feeling like, okay, that person's been quiet enough and maybe I should just start being social, start making those phone calls again, or, reaching out to other people that have been quiet because of that nurturing. So, no. I'm also going to tell you to be careful with information that comes in this week. You have a possible upgrade, and it's something that you kind of know and feel that's coming. It could be like, that money's getting better, that something good is going to happen, that something's going to pop off if you're doing content or whatever. You feel something around that. Just be a little bit more patient. You may feel like there's a new moon coming, or I got to get that ready, or I got to push it out, or you don't right now. I've got the Hermit card upside down here. And if we're supposed to be not getting, like, that means don't come completely out of your shell right now. There's also like one piece for yourself that you haven't hit upon yet, and you will probably midweek. That's going to give you such a big aha moment. And it really supports this whole kind of like upgrade in life, upgrade in money, upgrade in bank account, upgrade in whatever that you do have coming. You're not crazy if you feel that. But also be careful of the misinformation. All right, what can you focus on this week? Where can you put the energy? If it's not to come out of your hermit shell, your hermit crab shell. um, nope, not gonna take that. Out. Oh, that is interesting. Okay. You're doing a lot of deconstructing attachments. Very Cancerian thing to do. It's part of the PhD program of having Cancer placements and fourth house placements, by the way. You are seriously doing some deconstruction on, I'm going to just reach into the middle and take a third card since we got 3 on the other one. Yeah. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this as a fellow Cancerian. There's something you worked really hard to heal on. And I'm going to say for at least the last 3, if not more years, you've considered it pretty much 98% healed. That last 2% is up on deck in the next couple of weeks. Look around to where you may have attachments to people, outcomes. That's big. Or what you have to fight for and what you could just let go and not have attachment to it. So there's 2 things. There is the outcome thing that we may have attachment to here, Cancer, about just one specific situation. You may be like, I don't really get attachment to outcome, right? I always say in the space of expectation is where you will find the most disappointment. But there's also something here about the attachment to having to fight for everything or having to defend anything, where you could just say no is a full sentence, and do the, when a Cancer is done, they're done. If they're calm and they're not fighting, then they're just saying, nothing, that's probably when they're done. It's not even about the situation that's here now that you might be dealing with. It's about what you had to fight for as a child, or how you felt like you were constantly in a position to defend yourself as a child. labels that got put on you, even into teens and early 20s. You're going to get presented with a moment that is really going to heal some like deeper, nuanced stuff. We heal the big stuff. We heal the obvious stuff. We heal the stuff that we feel like, I wish I didn't feel like that, or I know that I do this in relationships. And then after we have healed that for a while, universe will give us, astrology, whatever, will give us the opportunity to come and heal something, like the nuance of it, like the last bits of it. And sometimes those feel like a whopper, especially because we're in the place where we're like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like, I thought I was done with that. I thought but it is. So it can, even though we were aware of the issue once before, still can feel like a little bit of a sucker punch. I don't want that to feel like that to you. It's not time to come out of hermit mode just yet. And don't shame yourself about like, I've been too quiet, or I've been putting something off, or no, trust that instincts, trust that intuition right now. Okay, Leo, what should you sit on a little longer? Oh my. Okay, you don't have to show them. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Leo. I would not blame Leo right now if they felt like it was necessary to have their walls up lately. There's a situation where you've been wondering whether to trust or keep it like that. Your vulnerability will be rewarded. I have said for years, we are strongest when we are standing in our vulnerability and can still be strong. Michael. And for this reading, that's the reward. That's the Four of Wands. This is celebration. This is possible, like, celebration of a union. This is, universe has put its blessing on this. Like, could this lead to engagement or marriage, or a relationship that could go down that road? I'm not saying this week you're going to get engaged or married. But yeah, if you can stand in your vulnerabilities and that kind of a strength, then that pays off. But just like like there's a situation where you might be like, and I'm going to tell them, and another thing, and nobody, ignores, puts baby in the corner kind of thing. Don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Be a little vulnerable, be a little bit more reflective. If you're planning to go tell somebody to go fuck all the way off, and another thing, that's what I keep hearing, and another thing. Don't forget, if you're Leo, you could have gotten a lot of bad information in the last couple of weeks. And it's going to be an old wound that's going to, like, I'm thinking of the old line from Sesame Street, from Little Rascals, where they give Stymie an artichoke, and he is just looking at this thing, And he said it may have choked Artie, but it's not going to choke me. And I just heard that, like, we're not doing this again. I'm not getting played again. I'm not getting burnt again. Wait, wait for this week. Wait for the new moon in Virgo, because again, you may hear things that's hard to hear, but that thing that you may have be hard to hear, Leo, I am like, you may have a friend that swears they're giving you facts and is maybe saying things a little bit based in gossip and a little envy. So just be careful on that. Let's see what you should focus on, Leo. Hey, Flower Peacock Beauty. We're doing we just did a card thing in membership where we have a poll up to see if people want to do a Ask Me Anything, including cards this weekend, or asteroids. I hope you are well. All right, let's see what else. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Leo, there's a project or something that you're doing. It's big. We have two major arcana here. This is life arc, okay? Um, oh, wow. Got one. Wow. Okay, there are 5 cards on, you've got the Four of Wands, which is minor arcana, but kind of a big deal one. It's almost impossible to make it bad. You have one of the specialty cards, which is extended major arcana for this deck that only exists in this deck. Then you've got the Star, Temperance, and Strength all here in whatever positions. When I tell you, Leo, not feeling the need, like you got to fight. Like all my life, I had a fight. This also moves over into a project. I do feel like this is like business, money, success, career, life goals, calling related. It needs the tiniest bit of fine tuning, the tiniest bit, almost annoyingly. Ask for that Virgo new moon to show you the exact little detail that just has to be. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, do you ever do a lock and you overshoot that last one, right? And then you got to start all over. That's that, like, it is that, like, when you're getting to that last number and you go really slow and you hear that click. That's, you'll know what that is for you. You're almost there. Focus on finding what that little thing is, that fine tuning, Leo. This looks so good. Okay. Virgo. And again, don't put the energy to the conversations and another thing and telling somebody they can fuck all the way off. Put it into whatever that fine tuning is. Man, does that pay off? Okay. Virgos. Ooh, okay. Virgo rising, sun, moon, Venus, 6th house placements. The last one was good for 5th, and I'm pretty sure I said Cancer was good for 4th. House placements, and when I say house, like I mean major, like sun, moon. Where you have a true stellium, which is not what most people think. Keep using that word. I do not think you think what it means. What it means. How I feel about the stellium. Okay. Virgo, I see like somebody you've known a really long time. It's hard to not see this as romantic, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There's a connection. Maybe it's like going back to an old connection, like an old friendship. Um, feel like you want to ask questions because Virgo is a sign of service. They are not, you're not going to wonder if a Virgo placement cares about you because they're going to show up in service. They're very much an actionable love, which can be different. Not always depends on the placement, but we're the Gemini archetype. Not every Gemini, not everybody with a Gemini moon, but the Gemini archetype of Mercury when it comes to like a love language. They might feel all the feels and think that Virgo is just going to show up. They might not be overly verbose in emotion, but you're going to know. There's one, it's either that you have to let this person step into the energy first because you're so of service. It's asking you to be patient, right? Well, I mean, obviously, this is the part of the reading where it's like, what should you just sit on a little longer? I feel like you want to sit on them. It's almost like you want to say, like, what are you thinking? What are you, because you can't tell, because you feel like if they did, they would, right? Because you would. If you do, when you do, you will. Like the Virgos, please, by all means, like tell me whether I've got that wrong, but I don't think I do. Um, just be a little bit more patient. This has potential. Something about you may trigger a little part of them that they have kept hidden away. This might be just for a few of you. There might be something that they keep hidden away because it's safer. That like most tender part of them, because it's safer. And so they may need a minute. But let them step into it. Don't question it too much. Because I don't know that the answers you would get would be great right now. Because they're not guarding themselves from you. And they're not guarding you from the truth. They're guarding themselves from something right now. And for a few of you, maybe that'll be like they're just not ready. It's like the right chemistry, wrong timing. And for others of you, they just need a minute. Give them a minute. Okay. Let's see what else, Virgo, that you have going on that you can put all your energy into. And yeah, distraction is good. I just heard. Hmm. Okay, there's something you need to like have closure with. Go ahead and have closure with that. That's going to help you pull in something. Oh, almost like you can stand on one side of the door, you can stand in the room or outside the room, don't stand in the doorway. There's something you just have to give closure to, so it's not in the doorway anymore. I've been telling this story of, you know, when I was less healthy, I would also pick less healthy partners. And my God, years and years ago, there was a situation where there was an ex-girlfriend that, like, you know, was showing up at the door and everything else. And she just kept trying to get to a conversation with me, and he kept guarding it. And then when she did see me, she was just like, you just wait, because he's not gonna be able to keep off of me, and blah, 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 blah. And I remember saying, like, girl, if that's what it is, then I will buy you guys the KY and get out of the doorway. Like, I don't need to be holding the door like furniture. If this is what is meant to be, then, you know, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. Getting somebody, yourself, out of the doorway, closing something, like letting it fully breathe. And there's also another situation where you need to be direct. These feel like two different situations. When I say direct, something, have closure for yourself. Have it. You don't have to have it with anyone else. The closure is for you. And Virgo wants to self-refine. Virgo wants the growth. So, like, you can do that. That's not a challenge for you. But if you've been wondering whether to grieve it and let it go, this is your sign. Something else is going to come to you this week. I want you to be short on words. Like, trouble's going to come, conflict, a fight's going to come looking for you. When it comes to you, this is another reading where it's like, there's something on the other side. I want to say, like, October is just huge for you, Virgos. And I'm not even thinking of the astrology right now. This is just in your reading. There's a no as a whole sentence moment coming up for you. It shifts everything. It shifts everything. Virgos can, like, weave a tapestry of words that's like, ugh, right? But hold back for this one. Hold back for whatever comes to you. Like, you're gonna hold back. This shifts everything, and it's good. All right, Libras, with Mars in your sign. Ooh. Okay. Libras, Sun, Moon, seventh house placements. Like, I'm in Aries Moon, but it's in my seventh house. So my Aries Moon has a little coating of Libra energy, seventh house energy. I'm gonna have to switch. I'm gonna have to switch. They said that's not the deck. There's another deck. Okay. Mars is in your sign. We're taking out the light seers. Okay. What? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Libra, is there someone that you want to say I love you to, or you want to tell them like you're my best friend, or you want to tell them like something? Like there is something you can feel the connection, you know you're not crazy. You just feel like overwhelmed with like I feel supported. I'm telling you, wait another week. It is not you. You are not wrong. You are not okay. Libras, you are not misunderstanding the connection at all. What's happening here is that um, this person just had an experience where somebody was like overly mushy and they're like, right? Um, whoever this is for might even be like a new friend, but again, it feels like it's a trigger for them. You're not wrong though. You're not missing the connection. You're not wrong about that. Um, you do everything you can affirm yourself, like get high off your own supply. I know you probably want to take action right now. Um, and I almost feel like you're imagining what their response will be, and it feels so good. I'm afraid if you let this out the bag too quickly, their response is going to be underwhelming and it's not going to feel good. It's going to feel the opposite. You feel the energy and you're not wrong. You feel the energy and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Um, show up in and it's an air sign. It wants to show up in other ways. Show up in other ways. Um, this feels really good and it feels good to you. And it feels like you needed this Libra placements. Um, there's also something here with you don't need anybody else's permission to keep going on something else that you would keep going on. Just do it quietly. The thing holding off is speaking like, hey, I've got this going on and I'm so excited it's going to turn into this. Like I'm hearing like walk quietly through that. Um, walk tall, walk quietly, carry a big stick. How's that go, Juan? It's Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly, carry a big stick. What is that? Walk softly, carry a big something like that. Um, yeah, you're not wrong because universe, I mean, you're getting the go ahead from universe to what the actual thing is. Sometimes people are not fully in the 3D with their feelings yet. Sometimes they feel it, they might like think it, but they're pushing it away from other things and they just need more time. They want somebody to come in and be so it's the flowery, it's the lovey-dovey words they have a trigger with because somebody, I think they were recently gaslighted or dealt with a narcissist or something like that. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Yeah, it's Teddy Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt. His estate was on Long Island and we used to go all the time in school. And I was like obsessed when I was younger with him. Now that I'm older, I totally see where he was, not great. Um, but I was like a little nerd. I was reading Poe at like 8, 9 years old. Why wasn't somebody stopping me? Gen X. Um, and I was obsessed with like presidents and history books and when I was little. Always a nerd. Okay. Dang. Libras, you got the Strength card and the Four of Wands, kind of like Leo. I don't know if you're dealing with a Leo, but you have a situation here where you can just show up in your strength. It's not the fighting strength, because this is a lamb, not a lion. It is the strength for you. And there is celebration. This may have to do with another female. There could be like an opportunity, or like a business thing, or somebody's helping you, but there's like celebration. There's something, you could be like planning a trip with somebody. This does feel like female support, but there is like being able to not feel the cardinal energy, not have to be fully in the Mars, and it just feels really Venusian and really good for you. Also, just you got the Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Strength, and this is on the bottom. So I'm just gonna share that with Libra. Good for you. Okay. Scorpios, how the hell you doing? What do we have in here right now? We have Farfully as a Scorpio rising. We've got Michael, Juan. I know Tina will watch this later. With her Scorpio moon. Lots of Scorpio in this community. Okay. Right? And Jazzy, of course. Your Virgo is so strong for me. Hey, more Scorpios. My milkshake brings all Scorpios to the yard. Two things. There's been like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? You have Scorpios. You are getting big psychic hits. Big. You feel, and some of it's stuff like, I don't want to know. Why do I need to know that? I don't want any part of that, but there is something, and it could be coming in claircognizant for you, which just means like, I talk about this all the time. Um, when you have claircognizance, you feel like, I don't know if I know that because it was a psychic hit, or I know that because I know that. Scorpio is the detective. They deep dive information. They deep dive, right? They might hold it quietly. They're not running around telling everybody everything they know, like a Gemini Mercury. Right? They're not proving to anyone. It's in the vault. So you do have a wealth library of information. So when a psychic hit comes in, you're like, do I know that because I just know that? Or because I've gathered that information somewhere before? Or is this a hit? It's a hit. Don't act on it right yet. Don't act on it right yet. Do not act on it just yet. But you're not wrong. I'm supposed to tell you, you're not wrong. And the thing that you were like back and forth, and now you're like, I feel like I know what I need to do. And it wasn't this way or that way. There was a third way, that now that I have clarity, and it just feels like, yes, you are right. You are right. You are right, Scorpio. Just hold it to yourself, which you're very good at, and hold off acting on it. But that thing that you're like, I just know, you do. You're not crazy. And it's not just because you want it. Oh, I just heard that. it's supporting something you do kind of want or don't want anymore. That's not why you're right. And you're not being selfish. That's the other thing I just heard. Okay. What should you act on? What should you move on? Don't make me change decks again. Okay. There is tons of healing that you're doing right now. If you're quiet and you feel like you're staying quiet, and there is some, we have the Star, and these readings are big this week. We have the Star and the Emperor, two major arcana. And you have the Ace and the Two of the same suit over here, like steps. There is big healing and wish fulfillment for you coming in this week. It comes because you deconstructed ego. Now, when I say ego, that doesn't mean egotistical. That doesn't mean selfish. It doesn't mean asshole. It doesn't mean self-centered. It doesn't mean you don't care about anybody else. Ego is part of our identity, and our identity is formed off of what we needed to survive. It is how we see ourselves so that we can be resilient and move forward. That part of ego. There's the thing that you don't need anymore. You don't need it for survival. You are really taking a hard look at that and letting it brings this huge healing. And with that healing comes in like a big like thing that you wanted that you're not sure that you could have. You know, one of the things we know in trauma is that it is more comfortable. And I say this all the time too about fixed signs. A fixed sign will stay in a situation that's uncomfortable and painful because it's the devil they know, rather than move forward into the unknown. That actually feels scarier and more dysregulating for them than their already dysregulated state. I've heard it be said that like the nervous system as a trauma response will often choose the hell that it already knows for heaven it wants to experience, but it's unexplored. And so the deconstruction of identity, like who you have to be, who you tell yourself you are, who you say, words matter. This is big. This may be over the next 2 weeks, Scorpio. Holy cow. And trust all of your, you know, it's also sharpening your gifts. Sagittarius. You know, it doesn't help me when I don't come on here 1 week, because then I have so much more to say and these take for fucking ever. I know it's taking forever. I have a clock in front of me. You're not the only one going, why does she take so long? I also think it. I always think the detail and the nuance matters. So I just don't wham bam, thank you, ma'am, my readings. I also know that's not for everybody, and it's probably why my channel stays the way it does. Okay. Yeah, this is Kara. I gotta say, so the Star, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Sagittarius. If that's meant to be, it'll come out in the next thing. We're using the good tarot, Sag. By the way, that last reading was also good for 8th house placements. Please read the astrology. Please watch the astrology part. Scorpio, you've got Aquarius and Cancer stuff going on right now, which means you've got stuff squaring, and Leo, you've got stuff squaring and trining your placements. That's just your Scorpio placements. This is also good for 9th house placement, Sag, Sun, Moon. Ooh, yeah, these are coming out nice. Okay. Sagittarius, there's somebody you want to cut off completely right now. Hold off on that. You're not wrong in needing it to end, but for some reason, I feel like if you can wait a tiny bit, you're not going to get the same reaction when you cut them off if you wait a little bit. The other thing is, yeah, you do have to. They're also not, you may have gotten some bad information, lest us not forget that Mercury in retrograde was trining like unrestricted flow to your placement, Sag. And Gemini, you know, you've got Uranus opposing, it's cray cray. You've got Pluto sextiling. You have Saturn and Neptune in a trine also. So if you have early Sag degrees, that means you've been having like this trine with Mercury in retrograde and Saturn and Neptune in retrograde, along with whatever you have early. Feels like it could have been a little bit of bad information. There's somebody that you were told not to trust. There's two situations. One, there's somebody that you need to cut off, and you're realizing it wasn't the person you thought you had to cut off. And because they think they're so secure in their loyalty and everything else to you, when you do cut them off, I don't know that they react well. If you wait a little bit, maybe after the new moon or right around the Pisces new moon, there's just going to be, it's the same, you're doing the same thing. Yeah, I think you got bad information or trusted the wrong person at some point. And so, yeah, if you, and you kind of know it, like, you know, Sagittarius is Sagittarius and it knows things. Ever meet a Sagittarius moon? They're psychic as fuck. There's some part of you that knows it. You also like giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. You like to give them the opportunity. You are Jupiter run. You like to give them the opportunity to show up as their best, as their magnified best qualities. You know, it's mutable, Sag. It can move with the thing. So like when decisions have to be made, I'm telling you right now, Sag, that there is, you may be wanting to cut one person off and it's the other person you have to cut off. So just wait, give it like a couple more weeks, and I think the truth completely comes out, especially when Neptune falls back in retrograde into Pisces. You're really going to get all the information. Let's see what you should concentrate on, Sagittarius. Trying to read the comments. It's funny, Gia. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Someone wants to be like generous and they're very emotionally mature, or this could be you stepping into a lot of emotional maturity. What is going on? Thank you. Sad, you have somebody a little envious and in their feels around you that is trying to make you cut off the wrong person. When you don't cut the wrong person off and you wait and sit, the thing you can put this might be a male friend and a female friend. This might be just be like a masculine energy and a feminine energy. Doesn't necessarily need to be like how they present. For some of you, you're going to have a conversation with somebody and you're just going to come from a very focused, everything is what it is, not attaching emotion, not attaching outcome, not attaching blame, not attaching a bad guy, not attaching self-worth, just having a very conversation with everything just being it is what it is, like in an allowance, almost like very like Buddhism based. Like they're showing me like the flower, and I don't need to like, I want to talk about like the color of the petals, the width of the petals, the way it smells, like allowing it to be just what it is, not that I need to pick that flower. I have to have that flower. I don't like that flower. Like just allowing it to be what it is in a descriptive way unlocks somebody's like emotions for you. Ooh. And for others of you, you have a very emotionally mature energy coming in and a very truthful, unbiased energy coming in. And wow, the support and wow, the good things that move. It feels like there's a shift in who you surround yourself with. And who you surround yourself with will directly correlate to what the rest of your life looks like. 1,000%. None of these readings are light. Holy cow. Okay, Capricorns. I was so really flattered for the amount of Capricorns I get in my community, because they're very grounded, they're very pragmatic, and they're one of the top 3 signs that on a full population basis will be like, I don't really buy that astrology, metaphysical woo-woo stuff. So, ooh, okay. It's not your circus, not your monkeys, Capricorn. And I'm always saying that to Capricorns. There's a situation where it's not your fight right now. You almost want to throw your hat in the don't sit on it a little longer. There's something cooking and you're gonna have another like epiphany. I've got the Hermit here upside down. Is this not the most gorgeous Hermit card? Isn't that beautiful? Stay behind closed doors. It's almost like you can hear an argument and you think I can solve that, or like that's not true, or that's stay out of it. Yeah, completely stay out of it. You might have inner conflict about whether you can help or not, or whether you should help or not. That's the answer. You're going to get more for yourself listening. Ooh, Capricorn. Capricorn's humanitarian. They're just humanitarian one person at a time. Normally you would step in because you have the wisdom, your Saturn run, you have the knowledge, you have the time under your belt, even if you're younger than other people. But for this one, what you hear in the exchange, recognizing the way somebody else used to talk to you or the way you talk to other people, there's something there when you stay behind the closed door and you're just listening. You are going to hear something, and then it doesn't become about the 2 different people or the 2 different situations having this conflict. It becomes about like, oh, yeah, sit on that. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. And then what do we have that you should be like heading towards? That was something similar I said in the Virgo reading. So you're going to take that as a huge sign. Wait till we get to Pisces, Zoe. Let's see if they all align for you. Ooh, okay. That is interesting. Okay, there's a cycle to close. There's closure for something that you need. And you have to take yourself out of your emotion. Cancer is just as much of a money sign as Capricorn, and Capricorn is just as emotional and loving and caring and nurturing as Cancer. They're creme brulee. That's the only difference. The warm, gooey part is on the outside for Cancer, and the tough part is on the inside. And it's Capricorn's creme brulee. It's the crusty on the outside and the warm, gooey on the inside. You're gonna, oh, there's a part of you that says, but if I just help this person, if I just give them what I know, if I just, they would get better. You have to close this situation out and you have to pull back your emotions. It's not even helpful to them. Could you be helpful to anybody? Yes, Capricorn, 100%. You like walk around with all this knowledge and it's, I could understand as if I were a Capricorn, I would sometimes feel frustrated on like, oh my God, here is the thing that you need so that you can stop having a problem with this. Fucking take it. Jesus. Right? Like, and people don't. You have to pull your, you have to, this is very not my monkey, not my circus. Pull back your energy and put closure to this thing. Might not be the person could be a completely good person. The situation could still vampire your energy. You know what's so funny? This is channeled. So let me tell you something. When somebody is channeling something, if you go to the same psychic, if you see somebody regularly for readings and they don't remember a reading or something they said from even the last time you talked to them, let alone 3 times ago, it's not because they don't remember you. It's not because maybe you're not their favorite client. It's because it's not our intellectual property. If I learn something, it goes in my library of knowledge. I can go into that library and take out a book and revisit the information that I already collected and curated. And I know that that is right. I can go into my hippocampus and pull it out of my memory. When it is channeled, it's not ours. We are a channel. We are a conduit. And so this is very interesting and it's just bringing up the subject. So like, if they can't remember, it doesn't mean like, oh, well, if you can't remember, does that mean you got it wrong the first time? No, it just means it's not our intellectual property. I didn't remember already that I said that Virgo also needed closure because that's not my job. My job is to like, if you'll notice, I'll stop looking at the cards. I won't be looking at the chat. I look off, and where I'm looking is literally where 2 walls meet behind my light. I'm not looking at anything. There's no information. There's nothing interesting to look over. There's not a TV. There's not a person. It's the corner of the fucking room. But I need a blank, clear space. I don't channel with my eyes closed. I channel with my eyes open, but I'm still seeing things. It's weird. But if you see me looking off like this or doing that, it's because I'm letting the information come in without any 3D information, visuals, anything interfering. Gee, it's crazy all the synchronicity you have with this group that you found out in the last 24 hours, right? We're on Aquarius. Aquarius. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, you're getting all three. Oh, mhm. Aquarius, there's something you want to defend. There is something that you are currently healing. I don't even know if it's a romantic heartbreak. It could be another heartbreak. It could be disappointment in a person that you thought was going to be like a lifelong friend. That's what I'm feeling. Like somebody you've known since you're 5, 6. This would maybe go back a while. This is also good if you have 11th house placements. The last reading Capricorn was 10th house placements. Everybody, if you're watching the tarot, should go. I don't care if you're skimming, put me on 2 times, 3 times speed. You like it, I love it for you. I don't like listening to myself on regular speed either, but watch the astrology part, please, because it's important for the week. There's somebody you want to like be very honest, very direct, which I personally love about an Aquarius. There's also no judgment. They want to, you want to see the best for this person. You also don't trust them, but they needed to come into your life because they triggered something else so that you could heal it, Aquarius. But hold back. You won't be exaggerating. You won't be dramatic. You won't be hurtful on purpose. You're just going to be very direct and without emotion, like I was talking about before. Was that Sag's reading? Like you'll just be describing the flower and they're going to take it like it's the biggest personal attack ever. Um, you're right not to trust, and you're right to want to, like, I call it like Homer Simpson back into the bushes from somebody, like, uh-oh. But there's more for you in this situation other than pulling back. Just give it 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you that that full moon in Pisces is a much better time to deal with. You may not even have to tell everybody, like you may not have to. It will be like no is a full sentence because that's probably how an Aquarius is gonna let you know. But they are not grounded right now, and they are not trustworthy, and you may, which you are not about that drama. So like you may put yourself in a position to have to deal with more than you should have to deal with or want to deal with. So just wait a minute before you see if you can Homer Simpson into the bushes a little bit. I don't know that you can with this situation, but I'm just saying, I feel whatever this is that you got to let go, it's easier dealt with in a week or two. Okay. Okay. What you do want to be dealing with. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Aquarius, whoever this toxic person is, you're gonna, you're building blocks to something really nice here. Um, if you're gonna celebrate, celebrate quietly. There's like a love, a connection, some kind of something really nice coming in for you. Do not let these two worlds collide. Right? So maybe not celebrate quietly and speak quietly about the good thing um until you get this toxic person completely out. But this week you are going to be able to celebrate quietly. It's going to come in and it's just going to feel good. It's going to feel organic. It's not going to feel like, they say when real sustainable love comes in, it's not a headache. It's not, right. It's not hard. It shouldn't feel that hard. and we romanticize, right? Because of movies and songs, like all the obstacles and all like how your love changed somebody. And that's all so harmful. This just feels really, really good, Aquarius. Just there's for a little while right now, if the people who can't do the Saturn and Aries work in retrograde, the people who can't do the let me go move this out of the way before it moves me work, the people who are just not at a place for whatever reason, which we're not shaming, not able to do the work, they might be envious or resentful. There's a lot of that going around in the planets. Of what you may have good going on or feel like claimed, I don't know, but just celebrate quietly until that person is out. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing Stevie Wonder, overjoyed. I don't know if that's for Aquarius placements, 11th house placements. I can't remember the words. But it does, I feel like it's a song about waiting for something. Overjoyed. Now I want to look up the lyrics for that. She's popped in before, but she was then being a world traveler, and so she just got back home. Okay. Ooh, Pisces. Okay. 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 I love this for the Pisces reading. Okay, Pisces. Juan, man, you're so good. The minute I say, okay, Pisces, I've got timestamps in my email. He's so good. I don't know what I would do without him. Those boundaries. This is two situations here. One, you're either going to let somebody know in it, but not out of like yelling, not out of ego. This, if you do it now, it's going to come off the wrong way and you're just going to get the bad guy label. You're going to get unstable label. You're going to get, and I know the Pisces hear me when I'm saying this. If you do this in a week, you're going to feel so fucking grounded. You're going to ground first. And I talk about this with the Pisces full moon. The Pisces full moon is beautiful. Ground, 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 ground. If you don't ground, it might feel a little helter skelter or a little like you're in your head and you're imagining things. Nobody likes that. But Pisces especially doesn't want to be told that or feel like people are implying it. If you wait a little bit, you're going to be able to stand like in your power and let it come to you, whatever it is. So hold off. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about your boundaries. You're not wrong about wanting to feel good. You're not. Also, I hate to say this, Pisces, there may be a situation where there is a very ill-suited, I want to say match. I don't think that this is a super committed relationship. I think all humans listen, I won't even meet somebody for coffee if they're in like, right? Especially if there's especially if there's that uh-oh factor, because we both know, right? And I've actually had that situation where I told somebody, I will not meet you for coffee. I don't care what the understanding is between everybody over there. I will not even meet you for coffee. There may be, this might be just one of two of you. There's a situation where you met somebody and it was like an immediate, like, uh-oh. I don't think the situation, I think that they're in a situationship kind of thing, or there's like everybody else thinks these two are getting together kind of thing, or somebody else already really has their eye on them. This does not feel like a committed, nor would I just know the more you just sit in receiving, don't try to do things for them, don't try to like, oh, in another time or place. You probably have a connection with them from another time or place. Don't say that. There's like two different situations here, Pisces, where if you can just chill, sit back, let things come to you, do any practice where we're talking about receiving, manifestation, sitting in the feminine and sitting in the Venusian energy. Where we are just receiving, we are not proactively going after anything. And it's especially important because it came out in this part of the reading. There's two different situations where if you can just chill, things will partially take care of themselves. Let's see what you should be going after. Sorry, the daughter. She gets my priority. Okay. Pisces, Pisces. Oh, goodness. Something to celebrate coming up this week. Something that universe has given its blessing to. Maybe like a party. Is there somebody's birthday or something? Oh, wow. Something you've wanted for a really, really long time and you get to celebrate it. It feels different than this other situation. This feels like just for you. This is inner work that you've done. This is especially anything you've had to balance. Like this was an extreme reaction, but that would be the other extreme reaction. And I found my sweet spot for it. You really, really get to celebrate it this week. And it shows up. I'm going to just take a third. Yeah. It shows up possibly in the form of like a supportive person kind of just falling into your life. And the other way that it's showing up is, yeah, I just feel like you're understood, but there's also like a money component here. Action, something that's done, like something you've been waiting for, something maybe you've been hesitant for. Maybe there was like a confidence problem. Let me tell you something. Sit and receive and let it all come to you. And that's really also going to turn up that level of self-worth and self-confidence, Pisces. Holy cow. All right. This one was huge. That's what she said. Hour and a half, people. Not yet. It's like 80 minutes worth of the because the astrology is not anything to shake a tail feather at. And the readings were deep. If you're a member, don't forget to vote on the polls so that you get to pick what we're doing next Saturday. This last Saturday was great. There's also a poll of if you didn't get to get your Pluto reading. There are people who were in that live that commented about how crazy it was, crazy good. And I'll be back here next Sunday. And leave me a comment if you want me to do like a general Virgo moon through the signs, through the houses, through the rising signs. for the general public. And of course, you can go to my website, suzzyevolutionary.com, in the where to find me. And that's where you're going to see like the subject schedule. Oh, thank you, Zoe. I'm doing it in parts because I was actually freshly out of the shower, which is why this looks like this. But yeah, it still needs some tweaking. I have to do it in little bits and pieces because of my schedule. But thank you. All right. I love you. Know you love you. Everybody have a great week. And you can always contact me if you have any questions by going to the website and pressing contact. Bye.